Matt Leinart, Fox Big Noon kickoff analyst. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion. He did it all. Hey, I was wondering about this, okay? So did it come down to USC and Oklahoma for you?
It did.
Okay.
Actually, you know what, Dan? It came down to Michigan early on.
Oh.
Yeah. I almost went to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I went to their camp my junior year. The summer before my senior year. And the story was Lloyd Carr wouldn't offer me a scholarship unless he saw me throw in person. So I went out there. My best friend's brother was on the team at the time, so we stayed with them. Had a good camp, threw in the big house for Lloyd. He offered me a scholarship in his office. And I had just the greatest week there. It was amazing. And I come home and I tell my mom, I'm like, I want to go to Michigan. I want to be a Wolverine. And she started crying and she's like, you're never going to last. You're an Orange County kid. And when push came to shove, my heart was always stay home. But Michigan was close. Oklahoma came in really late. Bob Stoops, Bob Stoops came in late. It was Bob Stoops and Chuck Long, and it's the year they won the national title with Josh Heupel. And I took a trip out there. I just was like, man, Norman, Oklahoma is not for me. So that's it, man.
Okay. The recruiting dinner that you had at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
And recruiting dinner that you maybe had at USC. Give me the difference in restaurants.
So back then, we used to go to Petros Papadakis' dad's famous Greek place in San Pedro. That was always a night. I don't think it's around anymore. That was a fun night. And then the other night back then was Keyshawn Johnson's steakhouse. I think it was called Rain in Beverly Hills at the time. So that was like the super nice one, right? So you're whining and dining. You're at a nice steakhouse in the middle of Beverly Hills. So I go to Oklahoma, and again, I grew up middle class in Santa Ana. Like I don't think I ever went to. We probably went to Sizzler or like Olive Garden growing up. Was like a nice night out. I'm on my trip in Oklahoma, and the big night out, we go to Applebee's, and I have nothing against Applebee's. Like I like Chili's, I like Applebee's, I like all of that stuff. But I'll never forget, I'm in there with our recruiting class and Bob Stoops and all these guys, and they're getting ready to play for a national title game. And I walked outside, I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, you will never believe where we're at. And I just told her Applebee's, and she started laughing. She's like, oh, how cute. She didn't care. But yeah, I was like, I don't think that was the reason why I didn't go there, Dan. I think I looked outside my hotel or wherever I was staying. I was like, man, Norman, Oklahoma is a long way away from Orange County.
But didn't you go to a place that you buy a pitcher of beer, you get a free pizza? Was it Viz Tango Cafe? Does that sound right?
Viz Tango. Look at you. Did you do your research?
Yes, I did.
You did your research. I used to eat at Viz Tango Cafe. Definitely no beer there, but I think I had like a picture on the wall and the meal I got. So like they used to do, oh, this is what Matt orders every week.
Wait, was this your NIL?
No, Dan, I didn't get any NIL. Come on, man.
Well, they're giving you free food.
No, they didn't give me free food. I had a meal plan.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Come on, Dan. I drove a Ford White Ranger since I was 16 through college. Then when I signed with the NFL, I bought a Chevy Tahoe, but I kept my truck. And I'll tell you this, my truck stayed at my parents' house, the house I grew up at, for a couple of years. My parents sold my truck without even telling me. I was so freaking mad, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me? That is like my baby. My dad's like, I don't give a shit, excuse my language. It's staying in front of our house. I'm selling it. So yeah, come on. I was living off, food stamps, Dan.
Oh, come on.
A lot. Well, funny story. I was out, my oldest son's at SMU. And he's making money, the rev share and all that kind of stuff. I was out there last month getting him a car, and he's paying for a car. And I'm like, wow, this is just so different than when I was in college.
How much heat did you catch? Let me bring this back. The Throwbacks podcast, where you talked about the possibility of USC on retiring your jersey.
When I was at USC, I got my number retired. There's been multiple times where people at USC have asked me if I would unretire my jersey for some 5-star prospect. And do you want to know what I told those guys straight up? Absolutely not. I am never going to unretire my jersey for some random dude who, by the way, now could wear number 11 and transfer after a year. The only person that will ever wear my USC number 11 would be Cole, who's not there right now. He's at SMU, or two of my boys if they end up going to USC and playing football. That is it.
Get any blowback on that?
Yeah, quite a bit. But what would you do?
I think the school owns the jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago. So, and I had to kind of come out because then like Lincoln was taking heat, and this is not Lincoln. This has never happened under Lincoln Riley. So there were a couple times when after I left and I was playing that people at USC were like, "Hey, would you consider doing this for?" I don't even remember who it was, but a specific player. And I said, respectfully, no. Like, I'm not going to do that. I just, and it wasn't like I'm this arrogant guy thing. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. And we were talking about this, and I think it came up like probably in the last 10 years or so. And I was just like, yeah, I got offered multiple. And then people ran with it, and they're saying like, how is USC doing this to their former players? So like, it did get taken out of context, but I still stand by it. Like, unless my kids are wearing it, like it's pretty important to me, and I don't really care what people think about that. I know Jaden Daniels and the whole blowback at LSU right now is happening. But the thing about LSU is they don't retire those. Like USC retires Heisman Trophy winner jerseys. That's just what they do. So, but yeah, there was a little blowback. I would say a majority of people sided with me though. So
yeah, if they have a tradition of retiring jerseys of Heisman winner, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And again, in this day and age, it's like I'm going to unretire my jersey for a kid who's probably going to be there for 1 year. Like there's no. That's the only. I mean, we could talk about that for hours, but like the lack of commitment in this day and age of college football because of the way it's set up. That's a big reason why too. It's like, if you're going to commit there for however many years and be the guy and wear that and wear it proudly, then maybe it's a different conversation. But that's just not where we're at in college football.
Talking to Matt Leinart, Fox Big Noon kickoff analyst. You went 10th overall in 2006 to the Cardinals. I'm curious about the time frame. J.J. McCarthy may not make the Vikings roster. Mike Florio just posted that on Pro Football Talk, but the amount of time that you feel like these quarterbacks are getting, is it sped up now from where it was, 20 years ago?
It is. I think Tom Brady has been very vocal about this, and like obviously look at the guys like Aaron Rodgers, and there's so many great examples where you just sit and you learn. You and I have talked about my career multiple times on the show, but I do go back and like. I played my whole rookie year almost. Kurt Warner got benched week 5. I came in, I played 11 games. I played pretty well. Ended up getting hurt at the end of the season. Then broke my collarbone the second year, and he took over. It was a blessing in disguise for me because he then beat me out. We went to the Super Bowl. I got a chance to really learn for a couple years behind Kurt and the way he handled. He's a Hall of Famer. He was great. And I went into Houston in my 5th year feeling the best, not even as a starter, but feeling the best I'd ever felt as a quarterback. Like, hey, I am finally ready to be an NFL starter. And if I get my shot, I'm going to be great. I'm going to get that I'm going to be the guy. I felt that. And I was on my way, and then I got hurt again. Right. So that's the story. But I just think in this day and age, like, well, one, a lot of these guys are playing so much football. They're so productive from high school to college and the system and all that. But I'm telling you, man, like the NFL is a different game. It is just different. It's you can't practice the speed. You can't practice the mental part of it. And these kids get thrown in there. And especially a kid like JJ, who I covered at Michigan. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a shot. And again, but like you get in there, you don't have maybe the guys around you. You don't play extremely well. You only get really 1 or 2 opportunities in this league, man, and you're done. And then they bring in a guy like Kyler. I think so I'm assuming Carson Wentz might be the backup, right? Yeah. And JJ might not be on the team. I think big picture, it's an opportunity for him to kind of take a step back and understand like, hey, this is where I need to get better and learn and grow. I do think it's unfair unless you're a guy like Caleb and some of these guys who are just so different skill-wise that can outplay the learning part of it. But it's tough. But he's a good kid. He's a good player. And again, it also goes back to like, a lot of these teams, reaching for quarterbacks in the first round. Like that's another thing too, is there's such a premium to try and get your next guy that I think sometimes you overdraft.
Lenora Sellers is working at a golf course, and he's working
Good for him.
at a driving range. And so now, so everybody's bringing up, well, Leinart did ballroom dancing, and Marcus Mariota, I think, had a couple of cushy courses. You had already graduated at USC.
And my senior year might have gone down as the greatest senior year of all time. I graduated in 4 years. Well, I graduated. So I come back for my 5th year, right? There was that big announcement, and I needed basically 2 credits just to be eligible. I had to be 2 credits. So I'll never forget. I was like, man, I think it was art. There's an art class, and there was ballroom dancing. And I'm like, oh, well, ballroom dancing sounds fun. I'm a terrible dancer, but it was one night a week on Tuesday nights. I think if I remember correctly, the teacher was the choreographer for Dirty Dancing, like the movie, back in the day. And it's just like, it was an easy grade. So my only class I took my senior year, I was at Tuesday night ballroom dancing. And Mark Sanchez was in that class, or a couple other guys in that class. So I would go Tuesday night, which is awesome because it was ballroom dancing, and Halo Xbox was like the big thing we all played. And then it was like, I could spend 95% of my time at the facility with film. I was with Sark all the time. Sark was my quarterback coach in OC. But I did read, was it Lenore? So it was someone else who's taking like kind of a funny class that sort of got made fun of this past week. I don't know if it was Lenore's, but I was like, good for them.
His isn't a class. He's just he's getting paid to go to a driving range.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think he's doing at the driving range? Like, he's just sitting there.
If he even goes,
he better be working on his swing.
By the way, Matt is working alongside Abbott. This is the 3rd season they've done We Give Blood, Big Ten schools. Explain what you're doing again this year.
Yeah, this is incredible. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of this campaign. So basically a competition to see which school of the 18 schools can give the most blood. The winner gets $1 million from Abbott to advance student health. In the first 2 years, there's been about 300,000 lives saved with all the donations. I think the biggest thing just to remember, too, is 25% of all blood donations that we receive in the country come from people ages 65 and up, so sort of aging out. So I think really trying to kind of go after the younger generation, the college kids, all that, and see their impact with this. I think that's huge. So really, and then also just personally, Dan, my mom had a blood disorder, a very rare blood disorder called polycythemia. She passed away from that. She needed transfusions, all that. So when I first started working with Abbott in this, it was just super meaningful for me and personal for me. But yeah, the need for blood never goes away. So it's a fun way for, schools compete on the football field, but they also compete off the field. So big10.org/Abbott, where you can go to find out more details. You don't have to be a fan of a school to donate. That's important to know too. You can be, obviously, but yeah. And I mean, Nebraska's been great. A lot of the Midwest schools, we need USC to pick it up a little bit though. That's for sure.
I keep, and like occasionally news trickles out or stories trickle out with your podcast with Jerry Ferrara.
We got to get you on the pod, Dan. I don't even know if you do pods. Do you?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you on.
But then
Jerry loves you. So.
Well, then you have you screwed up the date with Rihanna.
Oh God, are we really going there?
Well, you brought it up. I mean, you brought it up prior, and I was like, how do you screw up a date with Rihanna?
Well, it just, I wasn't at my best. I definitely wasn't at my best that day. We were friends. We hung out a couple times. We had a mutual circle of friends, and her assistant and sort of right-hand girl, still to this day, I'm friends with. She grew up with one of my best friends. So that was kind of the thing. But yeah, it was a young Matt, just, not super confident. You thought I would have had a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So that's that, man.
I would have thought you would have been Vinny Chase on Entourage.
It's so funny when Jerry and I started doing throwbacks. I told him, I said, there were a couple guys, my old buddy, Monty Beisel, who's old linebacker. He was middle linebacker. He used to call me Vinny Chase, just naturally, right? Hollywood, all that stuff. But we would be in practice 7 on or team. He's like, all right, Vinny Chase, let's go, Vinny Chase. So it's so funny fitting 20 years later, Jerry and I are doing a pod, but no, Jerry's awesome, man. It's been, I mean, Entourage is one of the greatest shows of all time. So it's been so fun for me, obviously as his friend now, but as a fan of the show to hear all the stories about that. Did you ever, you were on that show. Did you make a cameo? No, you didn't.
No.
Damn, I'm going to have to ask Jerry
I don't like
that.
to be on shows that I like because I don't want to screw up the show.
Oh, you wouldn't have screwed up that show.
I might have.
That's a great show. I've been begging him. They got to reboot it. I know it's not that easy, but they gotta figure it out. So
it's big10.org/Abbott for more information on that. Tell Jerry I said hello, and we'll catch up during the season. Thank you again, Matt.
All right, Dan. Appreciate you, buddy.
That's Matt Leinart. Screwed up the date with Rihanna.